When a corrupt anti-Trump judge tries to humiliate JD Vance in court, he believes he's untouchable. But when his target fights back, karma strikes fast, leaving the entire courtroom in stunned silence. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. The day started like any other in the federal courthouse, except for Judge Marshall Davis's particularly foul mood. "I said no coffee in my courtroom," he barked at his clerk, making the young woman flinch. "And tell that defense team if they're not here in 2 minutes, I'm issuing contempt charges." The packed gallery watched as Davis stormed to his bench, his face already flushed with irritation. His reputation for harsh treatment was well known, but lately his behavior had become erratic, especially in cases involving conservative figures. "Your Honor," the court clerk approached cautiously, "Vice President Vance has arrived for his testimony." Davis's expression darkened instantly. "Well, isn't that special?" he sneered, barely hiding his disdain. "Make sure he knows this isn't the Senate floor. In my courtroom, his title means nothing." The atmosphere shifted when JD Vance entered. He moved with quiet dignity, nodding respectfully to the court staff. Davis watched him like a hawk, drumming his fingers impatiently on the bench. "Let's get something straight," Davis announced, his voice dripping with contempt. "I don't care what position you hold in Washington. In this courtroom, I am the law. Is that clear, Mr. Vance?" Vance met his gaze calmly. "Crystal clear, Your Honor. I'm simply here to testify to the truth." Davis scoffed. "Truth? We'll see about that. Now, let's get this circus started." As the defense attorney began his opening statement, Davis cut him off almost immediately. "For the record," Davis interrupted, "I'm already tired of the political theatrics in my courtroom." He shot a pointed look at Vance. This isn't a campaign rally. When the attorney attempted to highlight the defendant's charitable contributions, Davis became even more hostile. "Irrelevant! Move on!" Davis snapped. "I won't warn you again." His gavel slammed down repeatedly, so often the court reporter had trouble keeping up. When it was time for Vance's testimony, Davis's behavior became even more erratic. "Stand up straight when you take the oath," he snapped, though Vance's posture was impeccable. "And speak clearly. I won't have political doublespeak in my court." "Your Honor," Vance said calmly, "I can attest to Mr. Sterling's financial transparency regarding the Faith and Family Foundation." "Oh, here we go," Davis interrupted, rolling his eyes theatrically. "Another conservative fairy tale about family values." The gallery stirred uncomfortably. Even the prosecution looked uneasy at the judge's obvious bias. But Davis was just getting started. "Let me be clear," he leaned forward, his face reddening. "I've seen enough rich conservatives try to hide their money behind so-called charitable facades. Your presence here doesn't impress me, Mr. Vice President. In fact, it makes me question the defendant's character even more." Vance remained composed, but something in his calm demeanor seemed to enrage Davis further. The judge's hands trembled slightly as he shuffled through his papers, his eyes darting nervously to a specific folder on his desk. "Your Honor," Vance continued steadily, "I have documented evidence of Mr. Sterling's charitable contributions, including the March Foundation meetings." Davis's reaction was instant, almost panicked. "Those records are inadmissible," he shouted, though no objection had been raised. "Your Honor," the defense attorney stood. "On what grounds?" "Don't you dare question my rulings." Davis's face was now bright red. "One more word, and you'll be joining your client in contempt." The prosecutor shifted uncomfortably. This wasn't judicial discretion, it was starting to look like a personal vendetta. "Actually, Your Honor," Vance spoke up, his voice remaining firm, "perhaps we should discuss the Liberty Foundation's protection payments." Davis's face went from red to white in an instant. "How dare you? I mean, what payments?" Vance calmly held up a document. "Your signature on these authorization forms suggests otherwise." The courtroom fell into stunned silence. The judge's hands shook as he grabbed at his papers, desperate to regain control. "Guards, remove this man from my courtroom!" Davis barked, but the officers hesitated. Even they knew he had crossed a line. Vance continued, "Perhaps you'd like to explain these bank records, monthly deposits from offshore accounts that align with your rulings against conservative defendants." "Shut up!" Davis screamed. "You have no right, no authority. I am the law here." Just then, a voice from the back of the courtroom interrupted. "Order denied." All heads turned as a team of FBI agents entered. "This court is now under federal investigation," the lead agent announced, flashing his badge. "Judge Marshall Davis, stay where you are." Davis's eyes darted wildly around the courtroom, searching for an escape. "This is a setup, a conservative plot." Vance shook his head. "No, Your Honor, you set yourself up. We simply gave you enough rope to hang yourself with your own words and actions." The agents approached the bench. Davis's voice grew shrill. "You can't arrest me. I am the law. I am the law." As the agents placed him in handcuffs, he thrashed and screamed. "Do you know who I am? You'll all pay for this humiliation." Vance stepped forward. "Speaking of payment, perhaps you'd like to explain these records." 7 judges, all receiving similar payments on the same days as you, all ruling against conservative defendants in coordinated cases. The gallery erupted in murmurs. This wasn't just about one corrupt judge, it was an entire network. As Davis was led away in disgrace, the new judge reviewing the evidence quickly dismissed the baseless charges against Sterling. Because at the end of the day, justice isn't decided by those who seek to control it, but by those willing to defend it. If you believe in standing up for truth and accountability, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more inspiring stories. God bless you.